In a world of empires built on stone and scripture, one man built an empire on horseback, stretching further than any before it. But this isn't a story about a conqueror. It's about a boy named Temüjin, an outcast left to die on the merciless plains of Mongolia. How did a forsaken child become the ruler of the known world? In the late 12th century, the vast expanse of the Eurasian steppe was a fractured mosaic of nomadic tribes. Life was brutal and short, governed by shifting alliances and ancient blood feuds. There was no Mongolia, only a patchwork of rival clans: the Tatars, the Merkits, the Naimans, and Temüjin's own, the Borjigin. Into this world of chaos, a boy was born, clutching a blood clot in his tiny fist, a sign, the shaman said, of a great destiny. But when his father, a minor chieftain, was poisoned by rival Tatars, destiny seemed to forget him. His own clan abandoned his family, leaving them with nothing. Temüjin, his mother, and his siblings were forced into a life of desperate survival, hunting marmots and gathering roots just to stay alive. This harsh wilderness became his classroom, teaching him lessons of loyalty, resilience, and the cold, hard calculus of power. He learned that on the steppe, you either forged your own path or were trampled by those who did. Temüjin's rise from obscurity was not a single grand event, but a slow, calculated ascent forged in fire and betrayal. He began by building a small following, his charisma and strategic mind drawing warriors to his banner. He rescued his wife, Bird, after she was kidnapped by the rival Merkit tribe, a daring raid that cemented his reputation as a capable leader. His early victories were not just about conquest, but about unification. Unlike other chieftains who slaughtered or enslaved their defeated rivals, Temüjin often absorbed them into his own tribe, valuing skill and loyalty over bloodline. He created a meritocracy on horseback. He systematically broke down the old tribal structures that had kept the steppe in a perpetual state of war. He organized his warriors into units of 10, 100, 1,000, and 10,000, all bound by an unbreakable code of discipline. His most brilliant general, Subutai, wasn't a noble, but the son of a blacksmith. Through a series of brutal but brilliant campaigns, he vanquished his rivals one by one, culminating in a great assembly, a Kurultai, in 1206. There, on the banks of the Anan River, the fragmented tribes proclaimed him Genghis Khan, the universal ruler of all Mongols. The boy who ate field mice was now a king, but his vision stretched far beyond the steppes. He turned his gaze outward to the wealthy, settled empires that had long looked down upon his people as barbarians. The Khwarezmian Empire in Persia, the Jin dynasty in China, they were next. His campaigns were legendary for their speed, brutality, and psychological warfare. He sent envoys demanding submission. If they complied, they were spared. If they resisted, or worse, if they harmed his messengers, his vengeance was absolute. Cities were razed, populations decimated. The Mongol horde was a storm of arrows, a force of nature that seemed unstoppable. He wasn't just conquering lands. He was reshaping the world map. But here is where the story takes a turn. We remember Genghis Khan for the terror of his conquests, for the mountains of skulls and rivers of blood. But what if the most radical part of his legacy wasn't destruction, but creation? Beneath the iron fist of the conqueror was the mind of a nation builder. In the lands he conquered, Genghis Khan established a system of governance that was, for its time, remarkably progressive. He declared universal religious freedom across his empire, protecting Buddhists, Muslims, Christians, and Nestorians alike, so long as they prayed for his prosperity. He created the Yam, a revolutionary postal relay system with riders carrying messages across thousands of miles, connecting the far corners of his empire. This network didn't just carry military intelligence. It became the artery of a new global trade route, the Silk Road, making it safer than ever before. He commissioned a written script for the Mongol language, established a codified legal system, and even forbade the kidnapping and selling of women. Was this the same man who ordered the destruction of entire civilizations? The paradox of Genghis Khan is that the world's most feared destroyer was also one of its greatest unifiers, creating a bridge between East and West that would change history forever. The empire forged by Genghis Khan did not die with him. It expanded under his sons and grandsons to become the largest contiguous land empire in history, stretching from the Pacific Ocean to the Danube River. The Mongol peace, the Pax Mongolica, ushered in an era of unprecedented communication and trade. Gunpowder, the compass, and printing technology all traveled west along the routes his armies had cleared. But his legacy is also written in the DNA of millions. Modern genetic studies suggest that a significant percentage of men across Asia are direct descendants of his lineage. The outcast boy from the steppe left an echo not just in our history books, but in our very blood. The world we live in today, a world of interconnected nations and global exchange, owes an unacknowledged debt to the brutal, brilliant, and revolutionary vision of Genghis Khan. He rose from the dust of the steppe to hold the world in his hand, a testament to the idea that history is not just shaped by kings and crowns, but by the will of a single determined soul. Thanks for watching Echoes of Time. Subscribe for more stories that history tried to forget.